So in today's video, we will discuss about the different file modes that are used in file handling. In Python, when working with files, you need to specify the mode in which you want to open the file. The mode determines the operations you can perform on the file. There are several file modes, but we'll focus on the three most common ones: read, write, and append. File modes are specified as a string argument when opening a file using the open function. Proper mode selection is crucial to avoid unintended data loss or corruption. Read mode. The read mode is used to open a file for reading. If file does not exist, it will raise a file not found error. So here is an example in which we are trying to open a file name example in read mode, and then we will read the content of that file in variable content. Here is another example where we are trying to open a file data using a file context manager. Write mode. The write mode is used to open a file for writing. If file exists, it will overwrite the contents, and if file does not exist, it will create a new file. So in above example, we are trying to open a file example in write mode, and then we are writing the statement, this is some text in that file using write function. So in the second example, we are trying to open a file log in write mode using a file context manager. Append mode. The append mode is used to open a file for writing at the end of a file. If file exists, it will append data to the end of the file. And if it does not exist, it will create a new file. So in this example, we are trying to open a file example in append mode, and then we are writing this text to that file. So if the file exists, this statement will be added to the end of the file. But in case the file does not exist, it will create a new file. And in the second example, we are trying to open the file using a file context manager. Mode combinations. Modes can be combined with additional characters for some options. Mode combinations provide flexibility in file handling operations. They allow you to perform multiple operations on the same file without having to open it multiple times. Be cautious when using modes that allow writing, as you can unintentionally overwrite or modify existing data. So in this example, this is a read plus mode in which we open the file for both reading and writing. If file does not exist, a file not error will be raised. The existing contents of the file are preserved when we use this mode. It is useful when you need to read existing content and update or append to it without deleting the current content. So in this way, we can use the read plus mode, and then we are reading the contents of the file in variable content. Now we will see what is write W plus mode. It opens the file for both reading and writing, and if the file does not exist, it is created. Whereas if the file exists, its contents are truncated, that is, the file is emptied. It is useful when you want to reset the file's content and write new data, and also need the ability to read what you have written. So in this example, we are opening a file output in W plus mode, and then we are writing this statement initial data to the file. After that, we are reading the content of that file in the variable modified data. So now we'll go to Google Colab, where we'll see some practical application of what we have learned today. Now we are on Google Colab, and let's begin with an example where we use write mode. So in this example, we are trying to open a file example in write mode, and since the file example does not exist, a file will be created. So if I run this code and if I refresh it, we can see that a file example is created over here. And then we'll use and we can see that using the write method, we have written a statement, this is some text to this file. So now we'll open the same file in read mode, and in the variable content, we'll try to read the contents of this file. If I execute this code, we can see that this is some text. This statement is printed on screen. If I'll open this file, we can see that this is some text. This statement is also present in this file. Now we'll use the append mode, and this is text. This is text will be appended at the end of this file. So if I'll execute this code and I'll open it again, we can see that the new text is joined at the end of this file. Now we see the use of the write mode. So now we are using the R. You'll see the R plus mode where we are opening the file example and we are reading its content in the variable content. So when we use R plus mode, the existing content will remain. But in the case of W plus mode, the existing content truncates. So yeah, we'll see that appending some text, this statement is joined at the end of the file. Now we do the same thing for W plus mode, and I'll open the file again. We can see that the existing content is erased for W plus mode. So this is the basic difference between R plus and W plus mode. And so this marks the end of this video, and that was all about different file modes in Python.